Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our NFL Week 15 preview between the New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Jets. The one play that's effective in the Jets offense, in the passing game at least, is getting the tight end down the seam of the defense. And this week versus Carolina, when they see cover two, I think they can have a big play waiting for them in the passing game off of play action and putting the strong safety in the bind. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. You see how we widen out that wide receiver, bottom of the numbers. So let's say this is the bottom of the numbers and this is the hash marks. What you want to do is put this strong safety in the bind where he's going to have to split the tight end and the receiver on the outside. And I'm going to show you how we're going to take advantage. But on the backside, we're running a basic scissors concept out, skinny post, trying to get this free safety out of the way. And again, we're faking the handoff here to Geno Smith, turning his back. Tight end opens out, works to the inside shoulder of the strong safety. Outside receiver runs, gives an out fake as if he's going down the sideline, and he's cutting back to the post. Guess who's in the bind? This strong safety right here. He's going to have to make a decision. Either he's going to help out on this post or he's going to try to cover this tight end one-on-one. Either way, it's a mismatch for the defense. The tight end on the strong safety is a mismatch. Although Lester has been playing well, this is a mismatch for the Panthers, and the Jets can take advantage. Or they can hit the skinny post. I think that's where they can have a big play waiting in the passing game. We know Geno Smith feels comfortable throwing down the seam, especially to the tight end. Now you have Kellen Winslow healthy. So plays like this could be successful this week versus a defense like Carolina that will want to get after the quarterback off of play action. Tight end running down the seam on the strong safety is always a big play waiting to happen. This week versus the New York Jets, the Carolina Panthers will have to be able to beat the pressure of Rex Ryan's aggressive 3-4 defense. And one way you can defeat that 3-4 defense is by expanding their coverage responsibilities, which is why I think they could put a lot of pressure on the Jets defense by going empty. And I'm going to show you what we're talking about here. When we're going empty, you put the running back right here in the slot. So this is D'Angelo Williams, just to keep that backer on the field. They see your base personnel. You have a tight end right here. So you really have three wide receivers, and the Jets may or may not go nickel. They may or may not stay in their base defense. But just for instructional purposes, we're going to show you how you can expand the defense and put a lot of pressure, not only on the safeties, but also the linebackers. So now we have a running back matched up one-on-one in space with the linebacker. He's going to be your built-in hot read. He's going to run the swing route, the bubble route. So if Cam Newton sees this linebacker coming off the edge, he can hit the bubble screen right here as we have the receiver running straight pokes. So now he's taking away the corner and the safety. If this running back catches the football in the flat, he just has to make this cornerback miss. So that's your built-in hot read. Now on the front side where the tight end is, his job is to check protect. A lot of times you see teams like the Saints have formations where they have built-in max protectors. So he's going to check protect. If this guy is blitzing, it's his job to pick him up and protect. But if he doesn't blitz, now he's running down the seam. So now you have the safety occupied. And what you're going to do with this guy here, you're running the shoot route. He's running to the speed out, which is the shoot route. That's going to occupy the flat area. And you have the receiver on the outside running a takeoff. So now Cam Newton has the opportunity to read the field, read an expanded field. And if push comes to shove, when you have a mobile quarterback, it tends to calm the aggressiveness of the defense. So going empty this week versus the New York Jets could be a huge opportunity for Carolina to move the football up and down the field and to also loosen up that pressure so that way Cam Newton can find the individual matchups.
Now here are some in-game adjustments that you want to keep an eye on in this ball game for the Jets. Keeping Cam Newton contained in the pocket is something that's going to have to happen throughout the course of this matchup. So it'll be interesting to see how Rex Ryan game plans against a young athletic quarterback in Cam. And you also want to keep an eye on how the Jets attack the Panthers' nickel defense. If they're able to have success when the Panthers are in nickel, you're going to see the Jets go to a lot more spread throughout the course of this ball game. And covering Steve Smith first and foremost is mission number one anytime you're playing the Carolina Panthers. Now, it'll be interesting to see how they cover him, whether or not they utilize Antonio Cromartie on him throughout the course of the game, or they get creative with D. Milner and keeping the safety to help him out and double teaming Steve Smith to try to force those other receivers to make plays consistently. And for the Panthers in this ball game, we know the Jets will send a lot of pressure at Cam Newton in that offense, so it'll be interesting to see how they incorporate the screen game to combat that pressure. I think that's going to be key for them to have success offensively. And whether or not on defense they go with two deep or a single high safety, do they respect the receivers of the Jets enough to keep two safeties deep on the back end, or keep one safety and keep that other guy near the box to help stop the run. And the down and distance aggressiveness is what you want to keep an eye on, whether or not they go with heavy pressure early or on third down to try to get these guys off the field or try to put them in backed up down and distance situations. Now, here are some coaching points for both teams in this ball game. For the Jets, running back Chris Ivory has to start playing with his eyes. I feel as though he leaves a lot of yards on the field because he's not playing with his eyes. He's looking for contact. Start running with better vision, and that can really open up that Jets ground game. And you want to see how well they incorporate Geno Smith's athleticism this week versus Carolina. They start to do some last week versus Oakland, and it worked to success. If they can incorporate more of what he can do as an athlete, as well as his quarterbacking skills, I think that could easily open up the Jets offense even more. And I know it's natural when you're playing a guy like Cam Newton that can really make plays outside of the pocket. You want to try to play contain and focus on contained defense, but you can't lose your identity as an aggressive defense. You can play aggressive while playing contain. I think that's how they're going to have to frustrate that Panthers offense, being aggressive down at A and B gap. And for the Panthers in this ballgame, the offensive tempo will be key. Can they go to a hurry-up style to try to keep that Jets defense off balance and guessing at the line of scrimmage and not being able to adjust? I think the tempo is going to be a huge factor in whether or not the Panthers can win this ballgame. Now we'll go with more of the lead and ISO game this week as opposed to the power game, because you don't want to move your guards versus a team like the Jets that do a great job in getting penetration and shutting the run down at or behind the line of scrimmage. And on defense, I will go with more of a read and react approach in the secondary. The Jets can do a lot of things deep down the football field, so you can play off and just react to the football once it's in the air, and I think that's how they can be successful with their pass defense. The X factor for the Jets will be their third down defense. They have to get the Carolina Panthers off the field. They do a great job of owning the TOP, and if you can get them off the field very early and put points on the board, it's going to put them in catch-up mode, and that's now how they want to play. And the X factor for Carolina will be their quick passing game. The Jets don't give you a lot of time back there in the pocket, so Cam Newton and those receivers have to be able to sight adjust and beat the blitz and beat the bump press and make plays quickly in the passing game in order to have success. I like the Panthers in this ballgame. I believe their defense will do a great job in slowing down the Jets' offense. And on the Panthers side of the football, I do believe they will have some success running the football downhill versus this Jets defense. So I'm taking Carolina to knock off New York at home. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Panther fan forums and Jet fan forums for always showing football game plan support.